Hey, how's it going everybody, and welcome back. That's right, it is time for another Fallout 4 Mods Weekly. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at some of the really cool mod releases that we've had over the course of the week, and this week we have a ton of weapon mods. So let's go ahead and jump right into it with the first mod. That's going to be Modern Protective Eyewear for Dogmeat by Xnemes, or Xnemes. I'm always going to pronounce something wrong. Anyways, this mod is going to add some new modern tactical goggles for Dogmeat. That way you have a nice alternative from the regular goggles in vanilla Fallout 4. Honestly, I'm happy that Bethesda even had the foresight to include clothing for Dogmeat, so now we can have really cool mods like this one. Now, this protective dog eyewear has been seen in different popular media, including several games and even movies, and interestingly enough, you could even buy something like this for your own dog for less than $20 on Amazon. Just thought I'd throw that one out there. More importantly, concerning the mod itself, if you want to actually grab these things, you will craft it at the chemistry station under the new Rex Specs section, where you can craft these things for 1 cloth and 2 plastic. These will provide a bonus perception but have no armor attributes whatsoever, and are intended specifically for dogs. You can equip them to your character, but they're going to show up invisible, so it's kind of pointless unless you really want an invisible bonus of 1 perception. Not much more to it than that, just some really cool goggle alternatives for your Dogmeat or any dog companion that you're running, including modded versions of Dogmeat and other replacers. Moving on, let's go ahead and start checking out some of those crazy weapon mods that we've gotten this week. Starting with a handful of mods, 3 in fact, by AnotherOne, aka RetroPaladin. He has gone ahead and dropped 3 different World War II era SMGs, and they are all just beautiful. Let's go ahead and start with the AnotherOne Sten Mark II by AnotherOne, aka RetroPaladin. This is going to add the Sten Mark II into the game. Finally, a proper version of the Sten. No longer do we have to rely on weapon mods like the defense gun. Even though the defense gun is a great mod, now you have something that is dedicated specifically to the Sten, including really wonderful custom animations, the proper iron sights that would belong on a Sten, and some really awesome attachments that make this thing super cool, including attachments like an integral suppressor, which is very nice. This weapon is added to the leveled list, or you can find one behind the Museum of Freedom in Concord at a grave site where it is plucked into the ground. You can simply grab it there and now it is yours. On top of all of the other attachments in this mod, there are also a handful of modern optics that you can throw on with the attachment of a rail, giving this a lot of usability and the option to add any optic that you like, even if it's not exactly the most appropriate for this old school weapon. The options are there for you to do as you please. This weapon is chambered in 38 rounds, which is something I really appreciate. More use for those 38 rounds for later in the game with some really cool SMGs makes this a perfect weapon. Not to mention it fits with the aesthetic of Fallout 4 and definitely meshes with the timeline very well, making this a really cool weapon for just about any load order. Moving on to the second of the AnotherOne aka RetroPaladin mods, we have the AnotherOne ppsh 41. Adding the Russian ppsh submachine gun into the game, this thing is absolutely beautiful. Now, we have had a few ppsh mods in the past, but I do really like the way that this one is implemented. I think the iron sights are absolutely beautiful. This thing comes with custom animations, of course, as well as a handful of really awesome attachments, and that leveled list integration. Or alternatively, you can find one out in the world, behind the Museum of Freedom, stuck in a grave right next to the Sten that we had before. This is yet another SMG that is using 38 rounds, has an incredibly fast fire rate like I had said before, making this a very awesome early game weapon. But with the right attachments, you can easily take this thing into the late game, and that fire rate will definitely carry you through it. Just make sure to stock up on plenty of ammo. This thing will have access to a lot of the same attachments that you will find in the Sten mod, especially in the optics area. Just like with the Sten mod, there are a bunch of modern optics that you can throw on this thing and cater it to your playstyle however you'd like, along with a bunch of fitting attachments that apply to the rest of the weapon. So if you're trying to flesh out your World War II load order, this is definitely a great addition along with that Sten that we mentioned prior. Which leads us to the last mod on this list by AnotherOne aka RetroPaladin, and that's going to be the AnotherOne Suomi KP31, which is actually a Finnish submachine gun, again from that World War II era. Now, I particularly love the design of this weapon. It's not one that I'm very familiar with at all, but I'm very happy to be introduced to it, especially in the Fallout 4 modding format. Not only do I get to learn about this thing, but also I get to use it in-game, and it is a mighty fun SMG to use in-game. I really like the aesthetic of this thing. It definitely fits that Fallout 4 style, and feels like it just kind of belongs here in the first place. Especially given Fallout 4's particular aesthetic going for the retro-style weapons, this seems like something that kind of should have been here already. This weapon has a lot of the same features as the other weapons by RetroPaladin that we mentioned. including the very fast fire rate, use of 38 rounds, leveled list integration, as well as a bunch of modern optics that can be crafted at the weapons workbench. Much like those other weapons, this thing does feature custom animations, and if you want to find one yourself without looking through the leveled list, you can go to the back of the Museum of Freedom in Concord, where you will find a third grave next to the ppsh and the Sten, where the Suomi KP31 is stuck into the ground. Here we see quite the monument to all of these beautiful weapons. This was definitely a cool time in modding, as we have not only another huge mod drop by RetroPaladin, but they're all themed towards one another, which makes this super cool, especially for people who like collecting those retro weapons in their Fallout load order. Definitely worth grabbing every single one of these. Up next, we have the Wasteland Aviator outfit by ThisMalkavian. This is going to add a brand new aviation-themed outfit into the game that is very, very lore-friendly, as it uses a lot of in-game assets, some of which have been retextured. This main outfit consists of a leather jacket, including some camo pants, a nice red scarf, an attached walkie-talkie, a cool aviator helmet, as well as some nice goggles. These can be worn all together or mixed and matched as you please. If you want to acquire these things, they're actually at a location just above Vault 111 on a crashed vertibird, and then you head over there and you can just grab them and they are now yours. Something that's really, really interesting about this outfit is that it's not only wearable by humans, but also super mutants, meaning you can equip this to any super mutant companion like Strong, and they will be able to wear it with you as well, providing a really cool outfit alternative for super mutant companions. So if you're using a modded one or if you're using Strong, they're not constrained to just the vanilla standard super mutant outfits. Pretty neat addition to this really cool outfit mod. Now, the last mod that we're going to be checking out in today's video is the Winchester Model 1873 lever action rifle by Oh Dear and Subleader. Pretty interesting. We've been getting a lot of Winchester themed mods lately, but I am not complaining, as I am a huge fan of lever actions, and they were definitely a category that Fallout 4 was missing on launch. Since then, we were lucky enough to get the lever action in Far Harbor, and then really awesome mods like the Cowboy Repeater and the very recently released Winchester Pack. Now we have yet another Winchester that we can add to our arsenal. And this thing is absolutely beautiful. The models and textures on this thing are absolutely incredible. Not to mention, it does feature a leveled list integration, which is always a huge plus for me. You'll find this thing out in the world on Raiders and Gunners, as well as on vendors if you'd like to just purchase it. This thing comes with a bunch of attachments, including really cool suppressors and some extra long scopes that are mounted to the side like they should be. Definitely a huge improvement on the vanilla lever action rifle. Really is a shame that this thing dropped right after we did our Western overhaul. But hey, if you want to follow that guide again and drop this thing in there, it'll fit perfectly with all of those mods just the same. But even if you aren't running a Western themed load order, I think this is a great mod for just about any load order. Having lever actions in your game is not a problem at all. And that just about brings this video to a close. If you want to try any of these mods for yourself, they will be linked down in the description below. Sadly, I do not have any Xbox links for any of the mods in this video. It seems that I can't find any Xbox versions on BethesdaNet just yet. None of these mods seem to have been ported just quite yet, so sadly that happens sometimes, but Xbox users, just keep your eye out and maybe some of these will make their way over at some point in the future. Until then, if you want to try them yourself on PC, again, those links are in the description below. And with that, I hope you enjoyed. If you try any of these mods yourself and enjoy them, endorse the mods, support the mod authors. And if you enjoyed this video, drop a rating. Subscribe if you haven't already for more videos just like this one. And I hope to see you in the next video. Peace! And really quick, I'd like to make a shout out to all of our patrons. Your donations are greatly appreciated and really help to support the channel and videos just like this one. So again, thank you.